Hey guys, this is Mr. H. This is question number 51 from the Regents review packet. And this is just a domain question. This is just testing your understanding of domain. Whenever you see domain and you see the word most appropriate or appropriate, basically all they're asking is, if this is a real problem or real world problem, what kind of numbers make the most sense to represent the domain? Now, the very first thing you need to do is you need to find out what X is and what does it stand for. So right here, it tells you that X is the day, each day for the month of January. So X stands for each day in the month of January. Now, so once you know that X stands for the day of the month of January, that's what it stands for. That's the domain. That's the X value. So you should ask yourself a couple questions. Can the domain be negative? That's the first question. And the second question is, can the domain have decimals or fractions? So once you answer those two questions, you know what kind of number you're dealing with. All right. First of all, never, ever, 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 ever choose irrational. That makes no sense. It makes no sense. So get rid of that. That's a sucker question. That's a sucker answer choices. Don't fall for it. Now, so let's answer this. Days of the month. They should be whole numbers, right? Because you can't have negative numbers. So we can't have integers because integers have negative numbers. It could be a -1, -2, -3. Those are integers. We could have +1, +2, +3, 0. We can't have any negative numbers, so it wouldn't be integers. And for the same reason, we can't have rational numbers because rational numbers have negative numbers. Also, rational numbers have decimals. And it doesn't make sense to have a day of the month be like 1.4. That doesn't make sense. There's no 1.4 day of the month. It's day 1, day 2, day 3. So it has to be whole numbers. So the answer for this one is easily choice 2. Irrational makes no sense. Integers make no sense because it has negative numbers and you can't have negative days of the month. And rational numbers make no sense because you can't have negative and you can't have decimals. So this really makes no sense. All right, so the only choice that makes sense is whole numbers. That's all you do. Whenever you see a domain, most appropriate domain, just ask yourself these two questions. Can the domain be negative? No. Can the domain have decimals or fractions? No. So it has to be whole numbers. All right, stop and post.